So this is the Arsenal preview show, brought to you by Vertical Football, and we are going to be previewing the Arsenal versus Leeds United match. And I'm not doing this alone. I'm doing with Shegun. Shegun, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, great to be here.
Yeah, so let's jump right into it. Arsenal versus Leeds United. Coming off the last match against Manchester United, where they got the victory, but the performance was a little bit shitty. Just walk us through that match before we go into this new one.
Yeah, I think it was in part not much of a shock the way they approached the game, because we've seen that towards the end of last season, we've been having that feeling that the creativity in that Arsenal squad is not as it used to be. Yeah. But we expected that even though when you are playing against a Man United side that finished 15th last season, you should be able to dominate the game, irrespective of whether it's Old Trafford or not, because teams came last season and dominated the game in Old Trafford. Yeah. But whichever way, I feel in the first game of the season, the most important thing is to get your 3 points. Yeah. So we can also look at it that way, that they got their 3 points. And maybe this game now against Leeds will be the game where they continue now to start building
playing like Arsenal.
Playing like the Arsenal way. Yeah. So I feel 3 points in the bag. So up to next match. Yeah, so let's talk about this creativity block that we spoke about. And I think it's becoming very visible for everybody, even if you're not an Arsenal fan, like just a football fan watching a team like the way Arsenal is doing. You have seen that creativity in this team has gone from being up there to a low level. Do you think it is because of the length of time that they have played together, or what would you say is the reason for this? Yeah, I think it's part of that, in the sense of, we've said it many times that there's a lifespan for every football player at a peak, and there's the lifespan for every squad at a peak. So it's not the De Bruyne, the Foden, the Bernardo Silva did not have it all up. At one point, it comes down. As everything that goes up will come down. So, but I feel. Yeah, now we had the news about Eze, which also is one of the things we've said before that would help in improving that creativity in the Arsenal squad. Because they need to improve. One of the ways to improve the creativity of a squad when your squad is having that season or that kind of
creativity block
is the individual qualities, and I feel Eze does that. So let's see how Eze brings back, in part, the creativity of that squad.
Okay, so let's go now into another vital part. Yeah, we're looking at Arsenal going to play Leeds United. What do you think their strength is going to be, and what do you think is going to be their weakness in this match?
Yeah, Leeds is a team that presses, because when you look at Daniel Farke, in his career, he's always one that from the school of let's press. Let's have an intensity press, and and also they have a very good midfield. Ampadu is there. Tanaka is there. I watched Tanaka and I was like, this is a solid midfielder. So they have that ball. We expect that Arsenal should be able to play through their press, to be able to at least not necessarily put them back to play low block, but at least it's going to be an open game, I expect. So Arsenal should be able to have the right opportunity to come out and play and dominate the game, even when Leeds is not sitting back. I don't expect Leeds to sit back. I don't expect them to sit back because of the kind of manager that they have. But I expect that Arsenal will dominate regardless.
So what will be the weakness for Arsenal in this one?
I think the weakness is transition, because when you look at Daniel Farke and the school of thought of way he plays, is transition, in the sense of especially in the midfield, if you lose the ball in the midfield, so from the middle, from the mid third to the final third, that transition, I think that would be a very, very important part for
Leeds United.
For Leeds United, really. And I feel Arsenal, the way Arsenal just have to just play. I feel the way the strength for Arsenal is just play out of their presses and whatever their structure. Just play them. If you play them, you win the game.
Okay, so let's talk about one man again, which I know nobody wants to put pressure on him. Gyökeres. Do you think this is that match where he can unlock? Because the Manchester United match, the way Manchester United played them was an unexpected match. We didn't really see that coming, because even on the podcast we were speaking about Manchester United going on the low block. But eventually, when we got into the match, it was the other way around. Arsenal was the one in the low block. Do you think this is that match for him, given that Leeds is a smaller opponent compared to Manchester United? Do you think this is that match where we can say he gets 1 goal or 2 goals?
Yeah, I expect that. I don't want to put pressure on him, because I understand that it's not easy from a player that's coming from the Portuguese league, you know, and he didn't start the preseason with Arsenal. He joined them, if I'm not mistaken. So there was a lot of debacle discussion about his transfer. So he didn't really have that full preseason to understand the squad. And I remember let me just give Arsenal some fans a little bit of hope in the sense of when Van Persie came to Manchester United in the season where he did very well. His first game, it was not there. It was not there. So it's just about the team has to grow to understand the kind of striker he is. They have to go to understand his movements. They have to go to understand what is the best way
to play with
him. He also needs to understand how they play. What is the best way to receive the ball from Saka? What's the best way to receive the ball from Odegaard, from Zubimendi? So they still need to gel. So, but I feel Leeds, as you said, Leeds United's game is a very important game that it might just start his scoring career for Arsenal by getting a goal. Really, to be nice.
So give us your predicted 11. How do you see the setup for the Arsenal squad?
I think Arsenal more or less retains the same 11 against Manchester United. I think what Arteta will be thinking is that it was Manchester United, it was Old Trafford, so it's not necessarily that for him like it was a bad. So I will feel Raya in goal. The likes of Gabriel and Saliba, Calafiori. I think Calafiori's plays, and I feel
Timber on the right-hand side.
No, I think Ben White. Ben White plays because he also wants, looking at the ability of, if I was him now predicting, I feel I would just use Ben White because look at the way the transition can. So you don't just want to use Timber. Then I think in the midfield you want to keep your midfield three. You want them to have that automatism and understanding together. So you use Mendy, Rice, and Odegaard. I feel Martinelli starts. I feel Saka starts, and I feel Gyökeres. I don't think you change anything. It's a winning team, regardless of how they won. Because it's not easy to win a football game. It's not so easy to win the Premier League. Whether you say they defended, it's not easy to defend against constant barrage of attack. So, but I feel he should keep that starting 11 and see how it goes, at least for the first half of that game.
So what's going to be your prediction for this match?
I think Arsenal wins. I expect Arsenal to win. I feel depending on how they are able to play through their press, I feel I'm looking at a 3-1 win for Arsenal. A 3-1 win for Arsenal. 3-1 win will be okay. 3-0, 3-1. But I'll go for a 3-1. But if Arsenal is able to play through their press, and depending on how high Leeds United presses, it might end up being a 5-1. It can be something, it's like, is it going to be conservative or is it going to be? But I don't want to. Arsenal should win this game. Arsenal have to win this game.
We're not expecting anything less.
I'm not expecting anything. I don't want to shock like I saw last week. I just want Arsenal to play, dominate the game, get their chances. If Gyökeres gets a goal, I don't want to put pressure on Gyökeres. It's not compulsory. At this stage of the season, it's not compulsory. It scores a goal. What is needed at this stage is that just gel, have a good performance. You understand? Have a good performance. So I think that was also
so let's just talk about this last one, and I would like to hear your take on, is it to Arsenal? What does it bring to them?
I think creativity, and not just creativity in the sense of what the creativity of it's just individual brilliance. You just need, sometimes you need, and especially the fact that I feel he's going to play in the left-hand side. I don't think he's going to displace Odegaard.
No, I don't think so.
But I think he's going to play in the left-hand side, but he's going to be like an inside forward as usual. So sometimes we will see him operating
in the 10,
in the pocket, really. So but I really, that individual brilliance, sometimes it might not be going well, and sometimes he can just have that amazing chance. Even against Manchester United, you can just have that amazing chance and maybe score a second goal that gives you that calmness or even score a goal and go for a goal. So I feel it's a very good. I'm happy that this is what we've been clamoring for seasons ago. You're a left winger. I know it's only number 10 that they've not gotten, because I feel they should get some with 10 that can also act as a support. But Eze can also do 10 in some games. You understand? So a striker, squad depth. You get. So I feel it's nice. So let's just see how they progress from last week.
So thank you very much for sticking with us. This is Arsenal preview show brought to you by Vertical Football. You know what you do for us, guys. Please like, share, and subscribe to this channel if you have not done that. So we see you some other time. Thank you.